So Ross has asked me to explain the difference in bacteria and viruses since I was using them interchangeably, and I didn't even notice saying that. But it is important to make a difference between them. As we all know, viruses cannot be treated with antibiotics, while bacteria should, in most cases, have an antibiotic in order to help us fight it. The viruses really cannot survive without a human or animal host, a live host. It basically enters the cell and takes over the machinery of the body to replicate itself, whether it's RNA or DNA viruses. Bacteria, on the other hand, they don't need us to divide our cells. They do it on their own. They invade the body and produce some toxins that cause us to have the infection, the disease. There are some conditions that can be only caused by a virus, which is like the common cold. Some conditions like tuberculosis, we've discussed the discovery of streptomycin, the treatment for tuberculosis, which can only be caused by a bacteria, mycobacterium tuberculosis. And then there are some things like bronchitis that could be caused by both viruses and bacteria. So sometimes when you come to the doctor, they would do a strep throat test, especially a quick one for the children, because that's the most common cause of bacterial infection of the throat. And if that does not show that it's positive, then they assume your sore throat is caused by virus. Although there are other bacteria besides strep that can cause that.
Fungi?
Fungi, if you're immunosuppressed. So fungi theoretically should not cause an infection in your throat unless, so in the hospital we used to have, thank you for the question, in the hospital we used to have patients with AIDS. So the HIV was already really severe, and their cells that protect them, the CD4 cells, were less than 200, so they're very immunosuppressed, and they would have thrush. They'll have the white fungus inside their mouth, and that could cause correctly infection. But for the most part, if we're not that immunosuppressed, the fungi should not cause an infection. And again, the way things work in life, I mean, going back to non-traditional, non-Western medicine, is we have to have a balance in everything, okay? So for example, somebody gets excited from me and Ross running, is like, I'm gonna run tomorrow, and he starts running like crazy, and then he's sick the next day. That's not how you do stuff, you know? So when people come and join me and Ross to run on an occasional basis, we don't do our usual running speed. You know, we come down to kind of accommodate them and to help them. The same thing with your body. We have natural bacteria on our skin that protect us. You see, Russ told me to turn off my phone.
I just turned it off.
Yes. So that balance allows the bacteria to say, you know what, this is my territory, don't pass it, you know, I kind of like a dog, mark my space. And there are good bacteria, as we're told, you know, which is why after we take an antibiotic, about 2 hours afterwards, we recommend taking some natural bacteria to protect our intestine, acidophilus. The same thing happens in our throat and our mouth. So for the majority, unless you have immunosuppression or you were on antibiotics for a very long time and you deleted all the natural healthy bacteria that are in your mouth, you should not get it, which brings me to a point. I was going to show you guys a picture on my Instagram. It's called Levit Dermatology, about this tongue, and it has little black hairs on it. And the reason the woman had black hairs on the tongue, it's called black hairy tongue, is because there is overgrowth of certain bacteria because she was on an antibiotic for a very long time, removing her healthy bacteria. So viruses, bacteria, and as Ross said correctly, there are also fungi. How do we fight them all? Well, we fight them all with balance, with wisdom, with proper diet, with exercise, with proper sleep time, and basically having our body in a homeostasis, whether it's yoga that we practice, or martial arts that we practice, or even just plain singing or fencing or swimming, whatever it is that we do, whatever form of martial arts. There's not, you know, one that is better than the other, but we need to make sure that we get all of our faculties, brain and body, involved. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it was helpful.